Hello everybody, back here again for another vlog a day, and today is Thursday the 13th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning fairly early, got up and around, was up earlier than I really wanted to be, especially with no dogs here, but got up and around, went and jumped in the hot tub. Wife got off to work, no issues there, she got off smoothly, everything went well. I was kind of hanging around in the morning, not really a lot going on. Didn't have any dogs here, so I was kind of on my own. I knew she was taking her father to a doctor's appointment today that she needed to attend as well, because she needed to talk to the doctors about what was going on. She had a bunch of questions and wanted to be there to get the answers she wanted, because she doesn't trust her dad to remember to ask the things she wants to ask, doesn't trust him to remember what they said, even if you did ask him, if she wrote it down. So definitely with that whole process. So I'm not really a big fan of going. She's much more into the medical side than I am. Even though I take in most of the appointments, she's the one that follows up. But everything it has to do with requires actual information to be gained, as opposed to more of a, chauffeur service to take him there and back. So went ahead and was hanging around in the morning, just kind of chilling out for the most part. Got a few things done. Ended up talking to a buddy of mine up north. We talked for a while, and then got about time. I decided I was going to run up to the Daytona Aquarium and Rainforest Experience thing. It's it's like a little, they got like a touch tank for sharks, and you can play with seahorses and little cleaner shrimp and all kinds of stuff. And they got alligators and a bunch of frogs and reptiles and turtles and all kinds of cool stuff on display. Then one of the things I like to do when I go up there, they have like an educational class. They'll bring out some animals and they'll tell you about them. One of the staff members will teach you about different things, and then often let people pet the animals and stuff, and that, which always kind of makes me laugh, because so far everything they have brought out that they've shown I've also owned. So it's really not as big a deal for me, especially coming around a pet. It was funny because I was like, you want a pet? I'm like, no, I'm good. I've actually owned those and sold those before in my pet store kind of thing, either as personal pets or as items I was selling, kind of thing. So they have like leopard geckos, bearded dragons, cicada tortoises, alligators, which I wasn't supposed to have, but it was given to me by the police when they confiscated it from a drug dealer. So they kind of knew that I had experience with those things, and I kind of got a free pass in that process to house it until I found a more proper home for it, because legally you couldn't own alligators in my town. I ended up with a lot of like big reptiles and all kinds of like giant snakes and stuff. That same reason I wasn't supposed to have, but they kind of agreed that I was the best place for them to be. So like I said, everything they've had there so far I've already owned, so it cracks me up. It's always fun to hear somebody else educate about what's going on with the animals and see if I agree with most of the things they say, and then it's always really fun to see how other people react around those animals. And that's what I'm there for, is mostly to experience other people experience animals for the first time, which is one of the things I really do miss about my pet store. Was I often would have people coming in that didn't want to own the animals I had, they just wanted to learn about them, and having them experience them and stuff was always a really good feeling to be able to give them that experience. That hands-on, often I would get animals out and play with animals and stuff that you couldn't get in a regular zoo experience, and it was kind of brings back that memory of that process. So yeah, we got up there, went around in there and stuff. They had a couple school buses out there, so I assume they had some tours going on, which they must have them off like in separate areas of the little environment that I didn't really saw big groups of kids. So I was really kind of disappointed when I first pulled up, because a lot of times I'm thinking, oh, there's going to be kids, it's going to be super noisy and loud and annoying, but didn't even know they were there, truthfully. So it all worked out well. Spent a little while there, not a long time, because I got an annual pass, so I don't have to like spend forever there. But the other thing I like doing is when I walk around and stuff and I'll see people, especially with little kids, that are trying to find animals in like the little displays, and they can't find them, and I can point out, kind of look over here in this corner, or look up here, it's right there behind that log or whatever. It's kind of nice because then I actually get to see stuff and see how well these creatures actually blend in, because they give them pretty natural habitats they built there for them. It's not just like a big display cage with an animal out on display stressed out. So they do a really good job with that. So got done there, headed over, hit up Costco, had to get some supplies, stupid stuff. We need like pecans and rice and laundry detergent, so 3 main things I needed. But I ended up also finding a ceiling fan. I'm going to replace the ceiling fan in the gym / mom's old room, because the fan she picked out is just awful, and just what she wanted didn't make sense to me when she got it, but she paid for it, so I didn't really care. But when I asked her when she moved if she wanted it back, she said no, leave it there, and it like just constantly drains power. Like the light's always just like partly on and stuff, and it just, the fan doesn't move any air. It doesn't work when you're in there. How are you doing today? So when you're in there working out, and it doesn't move enough air to cool you off, so it's kind of a worthless fan. So I ended up buying a nice big fan. The one thing I did buy, I did a little research, and I bought one that has like a blade guard around it, so it looks kind of almost like a box fan, but hanging from the ceiling, and it's bigger than what it should be for that room, but I wanted to be able to move a ton of air, and it's got a good light in it. And the reason I wanted the fan blade guards is so when you're in there working out, or you're moving things around, you got your hand above your head, or God forbid if you ever get a jump rope or something there, I don't want to, hitting the fan blade and tearing it up real bad. So the guard will help protect from that. So that should help, and it'll be good. So not sure when I'll get around to putting it up, but I also found a couple of little things I wanted, and ended up buying some croissants. I have a big batch of croissants there that we end up bringing back and decided to have for dinner. I made up some egg salad when I got home. I hard boiled up half a dozen eggs. She chopped them up when she got home, and I went for a run, and she made egg salad and then put them on croissants, and it's really, really good. We're big fan of their croissants. I also bought some cinnamon toast bagels and then some everything bagels, and we'll see if they work around. I don't know. Cinnamon toast bagel could be really bad or could be really good. It's hard telling, but they're cheap enough. It was worth a try. So yeah, got back from there, stopped by the liquor store part of Costco, and didn't think I couldn't live without there on the liquor side. So it's all good. Headed back home, got everything all put away and chilling out there, and then it was about time to go for my run, so I took off on my run and got back. My wife decided to make the egg salad while I jumped in the shower, so it was all good there, and went ahead from that, had dinner, and enjoyed the evening, watched a little bit of TV. Super annoying. I don't know why people have dogs that don't control their dogs barking, but went ahead after dinner, headed back outside, enjoyed myself a cigar. I was up early this morning, so I didn't sleep real great, but I was kind of tired. And tonight was the lunar eclipse, and I asked my wife if she wanted to go out and watch it. She's like, yeah, if you get me up. I didn't set an alarm. I thought, well, if I wake up, I'll go out and look. If I don't wake up, not the end of the world. So went ahead, and after how my cigar went in, watched a little bit of Frasier, which was the same episode we started to watch last night when, like, I thought it was about 8 minutes. It turned about 5 minutes and 52 seconds in. She was already snoring, and she was out cold. So I rewound it back because she didn't remember any of it. So she had basically fallen right to sleep, and it took her 5 minutes to snore before I realized she was sleeping. So rewatched the episode, and after that, I watched a little bit of Blue Bloods, and then headed off to sleep. And I woke up at 2:08 a.m. The eclipse was supposed to start about 2:15. I was like, that's perfect. So I basically headed outside, checked it out, found the moon, which is a little bit higher up than I thought it was going to be. And it kind of blocked my house a little bit, not too bad. I was able to get around it. And went back in after I saw it getting close to time to start. Went back in and woke my bride up and said, hey, the eclipse is starting if you want to come out and watch it. I don't know if it's going to be that impressive or not, but hey, you might want to do this. And she said, absolutely, I'll be out in just a minute. I said, okay, so I headed back out and waited around out there for the eclipse to happen. And it was nice. It'll look way better. Some people have a telescope and a camera that's way higher quality than my phone. I took a couple pictures of it. You can see like the thumbnail kind of cut, like with the shadows hit. It's kind of cool to see. Lasted about a half an hour or so, and she never came out. So she'd fallen right back to sleep and all that good fun stuff. So it is what it is. But yeah, ended up awake for, I don't know, about an hour or so by the time I got there and saw it, and then got back in and got back to sleep. But wasn't too bad. But it was nice because I didn't have to set an alarm. I woke up naturally wanting to go out and see it, which is kind of how I tested myself to see if my internal clock would wake me up or not. I didn't want to set an alarm and then be jolted awake, because that happens, there's virtually no chance of me going back to sleep. But luckily, because I did wake up naturally from desire to go see it, I was able to fall right back to sleep, which worked out really, really nice. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all we had for today. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.